Neutral Zone Infraction / That Mediocre Sports Show. I don't know the date.
It's a long hiatus. We've been away for a while. Not me. I've been making lots of videos.
Yeah. I've been touring the country.
He's been touring the country, talking to all the hobos that are across the country as they sit there and beg for change.
It's not as easy to get on those trains as it used to be. I used to be able to run right with them, jump right on, but now I get to run.
Now he's got to have 2 or 3 of these guys that are malnourished pull him up as he's struggling to get on there.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
looking like
today's.
Oh, it's just like when you try to jump up on the dock.
The dock. That was so bad. Shamu. Okay,
we got. Shanmu.
I got a great show for you today, Randy.
We are going to talk about Terrell Owens being a big baby and not wanting to go to the Hall of Fame.
Wow, you took that side. That was quick.
Oh, we already know what side of the fence I'm on this one.
I did not know.
Oh, well, you now know. See how quickly you know where I stand.
I honestly thought that you might go the other way because I was at first on his side. However, I've been thinking about this a little bit. There's a couple things. Like if I was that good, I'd probably go because I've heard people like Warren Moon and them say, I didn't realize it was like this. I didn't realize that how amazing this is, the people that welcome you in. And I mean, he meant the sports people that come to this every year and they welcome you in. You are now in a fraternity.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would say this. If you voted me in, Jerry Kramer, after I'm dead, and they voted him in, thankfully, before he died, but, Jim Marshall's still out there. If you voted me in, I'd tell you, if you vote me in after I'm dead, you can screw off. I'm not coming. Not only am
I would hope not.
And not only am I not coming, I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't vote me in. If you couldn't vote me in while I was alive, don't vote me in.
I would kind of agree with that. Because it doesn't really do much for the player that...
Doesn't do anything for him.
And then the family is probably at that point pretty bitter and angry that he never got in anyway.
I think the fact that they waited so long on Jerry Kramer, who was... Vince Lombardi says is one of the greatest guards ever, which is pretty good. I think that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and Lombardi was even on his shoulders. He was the one that took out Jeff Pugh in the Ice Bowl. I believe that's correct. You can Google it. I'll change Wikipedia if I'm wrong. Anyway, he was that guy. We're going back to the 5 championships, 2 Super Bowls, maybe even more. I can't remember. But here was a guy you waited, and when you watched him up there, and he'll be he's in his almost 80.
Yeah.
And thank God he's alive to have seen it.
Yeah, to enjoy it, at least.
My God, that's...
Well, but that's why they put that Veterans Committee together or whatever, is so that the ones that kind of get glossed over, do still have a chance to make it in.
He was on magazines. He was on SI holding
Lombardi. The weird part is there's always these players that slip through. My dad is a firm believer that Gradishar should be in.
Well, that's definitely, I think your dad is right.
Gradishar was one of the greatest linebackers the Broncos ever had. I guess, I never got to see the guy play. I wish I could have.
You can Google it.
But he supposedly is just one of the all-time greatest, and he was part of the Orange Crush.
110% every game. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, and you're right about Gradishar, and there's a Jim Marshall. Now we talk about Tito. In my opinion, at first I was like, I don't care. If you don't want to go, Tito, don't go. But I have to. I'm on your side now because, and not because it's your side. I really don't even want to go over to your side. But I don't have a choice. The man did not have to wait. You know what? As far as I was concerned, Jerry Kramer was a first ballot Hall of Famer that had to wait, and he still went and gentlemanly showed up and said all the right things and is really cool about it. Come on. So you're not a first ballot, a second ballot. I don't even know how long it didn't take him long to get in.
I think it was his third or fourth ballot, but still, that's only 3 or 4 years.
He had 5 years to retire, and then
3 or 4 to get in. And it's not like he's not still in great physical condition. It's not like he's still, it's not like he can't enjoy this. His mind just went to mush. He's still very sharp. He can still do a great speech.
I agree that he should have been in. I actually would have said, yeah, if you're going to put somebody on first time, I think Terrell should have gone in. He played a Super Bowl on a broken leg, And to me, if you take away Brady in that Super Bowl, I think Brady got the MVP. Terrell could have got it on the losing side because he was amazing.
He was amazing.
The problem with Terrell is his attitude. He has a
and here's the
crappy
thing.
attitude. But I don't know if it's a crappy attitude.
We still have to remember that the voters are human beings. And a lot of these voters, I know they say, well, I'm impartial. No, you're not.
Whoa,
You're just,
we both said that.
But you're not.
No, you're
If
not.
you had a bad experience with this guy time after time after time, that's going to skew your judgment. I know you want to be impartial, but if you're going to be a jerk to these people and you're going to be arrogant to these people, they're in the back of their mind, maybe not the front of their mind, they're going to sit there and go, I can make a case for him not getting in. And then they don't give you the vote. Because they do take, if you look at the Hall of Fame criteria, part of it is in the locker room. How were you as a teammate?
Well,
And
I don't know if he was
every time
terrible.
Terrell Owens went somewhere, his first year, he was the golden boy. When he was early on in San Francisco, people liked him. He worked hard. He did his job. He didn't
I
cause
think
problems.
he always worked hard.
He's always worked hard. That's never been, that you're right. That's
On the
never
field,
been a
I
question.
think-
He's always a hard worker. But then when Jeff Garcia got there, he started to turn into a little bit of a, he started to turn into the Terrell that we know.
A biatch.
Then he went, I think it was Dallas the next team he went to?
No, I think it
Or
was
no, it's
Philly.
Philadelphia.
'Cause-
So the first years he was in Philadelphia, the first year he was a golden boy. Him and Donovan McNabb got along great. Boom, perfect. Then he started to split the locker room, which is what Terrell loves to do, is split the locker room.
As good as Donovan is, and I'm not sure. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. At least not. I don't
think he's a Hall of Famer either, but he's good
But he took him to all those NFC Championship games, so maybe I'm wrong.
and won Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if he has this. He's done that. He's good. I'm not sure the longevity is there. I have to say, and I was for the Patriots in that Super Bowl, but he mismanaged the crap out of that Super Bowl.
He did, but he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a Hall of Fame
So
quarterback.
anyway, back to-
he was facing a Hall of Famer. But then Terrell went to Dallas. First year in Dallas. That's my quarterback.
Yeah, I
That's
remember.
my quarterback.
Oh,
It's like,
crying.
don't talk
Look at
bad
that.
about Romo.
Holy.
He's
You
and
did
then the
that
next year
really
he's
good.
and then the next year he's terrible towards him. He's sitting there complaining and saying that, oh well, him and what's the I always say Novacek, and Novacek is not the right tight
No,
end.
it's Witten.
Witten. Him and Witten are too tight, and he's favoring Witten. Well, Witten's reliable. Witten's always there. Witten didn't cause problems, and Witten was one of the best tight ends in the league at the time. And T.O.'s being double covered. Well, who are you going to? The big guy in the middle that'll catch the ball every time.
I totally agree. I mean, that's true, and you may be off by a year as far as how he would become a baby, if you will.
No, it pretty much was
it
down
about-
to it was his first year he was good. His second year he'd be
Now,
terrible.
where did he go after Dallas?
I think it was Buffalo.
Was it? He never went to New England. That's Chad.
No. That was Chad Johnson. That was Ocho Cinco.
Which I kind of put Ocho Cinco on the same level as T.O. I don't know.
I do, but it's like Chad Johnson's not as good as Terrell Owens.
No, his
The reason if you take away all of Terrell Owens' off-field crap, if you take away his division of the locker room, and you just look at his numbers, he's second almost everything to Jerry Rice, who was a first ballot Hall of
Wow.
Famer. So why wouldn't you have Terrell?
Okay, but you know what? Having said that, don't be a baby, be a man.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that. Yeah, I do. I mean it. Because all men are sometimes little boys, and they act that way once in a while. It's just wait. I mean, not us so much, but he did. No, but he did. I mean, I think it's funny too that there were people that let him divide the locker room too.
Yeah.
Let's say that, because if there were leaders in that locker room, it would not have been divided.
No.
They would have. I mean, if you'd have, like when you take the wrestling scenario, if you'd have had the Undertaker in there, it would have been shut down quick. However, I still say you got in. You didn't look at Chris Carter. He had to wait how long?
He had to wait a long time,
And-
and part of what kept him out was his off-the-field stuff
But
because of the drug or
But
the
that
drug.
was in his first year.
I know, but it was a stain on his record, even though Chris Carter was one of the most reliable wide receivers ever.
You
And
really think so? Because
I think part of it was he
was with-
couldn't be put in because of the small issues he had very early in his career, the way he left Philadelphia.
Oh, but you know what you're talking about? To be honest, comparing a boy with a man.
I
And
know,
don't
but
mean anything
it's
by that
taking
in a sense, but I mean
it's
a young.
taking the whole thing into the picture.
I mean, a young
Not to
man.
mention, Chris Carter didn't have the numbers that Terrell Owens did.
No, he didn't.
By the end, but he was a.
But he didn't have.
But
Terrell's
see, to
had
me,
some really
Chris
good-
Carter should have been a first ballot because he was a mentor.
Oh, sure.
He was great, and he was a mentor.
Yeah, and when you talk, I know what you're saying, and I think you're right, actually, and I don't like to say that either. I don't want to come on your side, and I don't want to say you're right. But it amazes me that a young man who, comes into the league, and when you're 22 coming into the league, you really are a boy.
Yeah.
Because you're playing with men. You're coming out of college, whatever. And to me, it's amazing that they would think of that they would not. I mean, for Christ's sake, you get all this money, you might slip. But if you take that year out, which he did grow, and things happened that he changed his whole life around, it's amazing that they would look at that and hang on to that.
But it's still, they take. What you got to remember,
Chris Carter,
these
I'm on
guys-
your side.
These guys are in those little rooms. They're all sitting there talking to each other, and they go over every little thing in the career. That's what you have to do. You have to go over every little
I
thing.
want to interrupt. Okay, thanks. That really worked. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try that at work.
Won't work at work.
I'm going to try that with Tony. I want to interrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I dinked off like that, I almost forgot what I said. How cool of a show. You got the draft, you get all this shit. I didn't. I said the word. How cool would it be to actually to live TV those discussions?
But they don't want you to live TV those discussions.
I want to live TV.
It's like we as the fans might want to see it.
I want to see
But I
it.
guarantee you, the voters, they don't want you to see it.
You know what? I say this. If you want to be a voter, you need to accept the fact that we're live TV in this. And I want to hear the old timers get together and talk about it, and why Jim Marshall isn't in the Hall of Fame, and what you could possibly say negative about Jerry Kramer. What you could possibly, I get some of them, but
Yeah, I would love to know some of
what
the
you
thought
can't.
processes
Randy
on why
Gradishar.
something. Yeah.
Why isn't Randy Gradishar? Carl Mecklenburg was a dang good one. Let's be honest. When you go back to the '80s Broncos, I know they lost to 3 Super Bowls. There's, maybe not.
But look at a guy like Dennis Smith. We're very Bronco heavy here.
I was
because
going to
these are
say
some
Dennis
of the-
Smith, but
These are some of the players that we knew very well and we knew were great players.
yeah,
but-
I don't think they're ever going to put in those.
I don't think Dennis Smith ever gets in. I
No.
really don't think Carl Mecklenburg ever gets in. Gradishar, I think he could get in somewhere, maybe if somebody decides they want to go back and watch some of the old.
Lyle Alzado, who
Lyle
was a Bronco,
Alzado was
he should be in. Just intimidation factor. Anyway, I think what I would say to T.O. is, I get it, but I think if you went to the Hall of Fame and experienced, I'm still thinking of Warren Moon, I think it would all melt away and you'd understand.
Well, and here's the thing. You only get to do this once.
That's it.
One time in your life. You're voted in. They can't take you out unless you do something.
Look at
you have to
OJ.
do- yeah.
No, you can't get taken out.
But
Nobody's got taken out.
you'll never get to go there again and do this. Now, if you want to make your case of why you should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, you've got the stage. You're up there in front of everybody on your day to tell everybody why you should have been in on the first ballot. But you're there.
Yeah.
You're with the other ones. You don't want to have it where it's like it's like a brethren. It's like it's a special club that only a small, minute amount of people ever get to be
You
in.
had guys like Ray Nitschke, who's passed away, but he would come to that thing, and they would be.
Well, look at
they
some
would-
of the great players that go to that every year because
Yeah.
they consider it an honor.
They
John
do.
Elway still goes to
Yep.
that thing. Joe Montana,
They-
who I think's the greatest mediocre quarterback of all time, he still goes to that thing. It's like they all still go to it
His bus
because
wasn't
they
that good
can-
either.
Yeah, because they all sit there and know how special it is to be part of that fraternity.
They do go, like you said, go to it, and the jackets. And the thing is, they're in the part that we don't see is these guys getting welcomed in.
Yeah.
It's like it's got to be the most amazing fraternity. We're talking, the Bones and Skull Club.
Well,
We're
did you know
talking-
every jacket is numbered? Every jacket is numbered on the number that you got into the Hall of Fame. It tells you what number you were voted in. Every jacket has that number on it. So you know what number you were getting voted into the Hall of Fame.
Another person I want to throw up there, I said throw up, Pat Bowlen. And I know he's a Bronco, but I'm going to tell you straight up, and I know we'll let it go then. This guy, if you think about it, we have 3 Super Bowls in the last 20 years. Dallas had 3 with Jerry Jones prior. I say Pat Bowlen's done as much for this league as Jerry Jones, if not more. And he's gone to more championships, more Super Bowls. And it pisses me off that he's not in.
Yeah, and he should be. And I would have loved for, they should have put him in. They should have put him in when they, for some reason they put in Jerry Jones over him, but they should have taken into account that Pat Bowlen's mind is not right anymore. Jerry Jones has years to get in, but Pat Bowlen doesn't. So putting Pat Bowlen in when they put in Jerry Jones might have made it so Pat Bowlen could enjoy it. He could experience it and he could revel in it. Instead, you threw in Jerry Jones, a guy that, you know, he's really more just, he's got a big mouth. He's the
mediocre.
He's the biggest barker of the whole ownership group. He's a, you know, I guess P.T. Barnum more than anything. He'll come out and he'll get you into this, but I don't think he's necessarily done more than Pat Bowlen
No, he
ever
hasn't.
did.
I don't think he has either. But they did put him in, and it's like you said, this goes
But
back.
I'm not saying that Jerry Jones isn't deserving.
No, I don't.
I will say that Jerry Jones is deserving, but I think they could have waited and put in Bowlen first, and then Jerry Jones could have got in, and Jerry Jones would still be sharp enough to go in, make his speech, and he could still make a great speech.
As it is, Pat Bowlen will go in. When he does go in, if I understand it
his
right,
family is going to have to speak for him.
And the other thing is, it goes back to this: if you can't put me in while I'm alive, or I have my mental capabilities, don't put me in. So it's maybe he could say.
Well, and it depends. Maybe if they ask the family, it's like maybe the family says we'd like to see him get in. That would be my caveat for that. If the family says I'd like to see him in there, then you could sit there and go, all right, since they're the surviving members and they should have put him in, and this is a way to make good on that. If the family says we'd like to see him in,
I might be being a baby.
So, but Terrell Owens, man, I still think it's still early. We don't have to worry about this till August. I think I'll make this prediction: Terrell Owens is going to be there. I will make the prediction: Terrell Owens is going to be there, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think right now he's doing all this for attention. I think he's doing this because we know that Terrell Owens has always been kind of an attention hog. I think he's doing this for attention, and he will be there.
I think
he will be there at the at the 11th hour. Actually, won't be there because he won't have time to do that. But I think like a month before, or maybe even 2 weeks, just to get the most impact out of this.
He might get talked to by your Chris Carters and your Warren Moons. And
he might.
Some guys.
He might, but it's like somebody is going to, and I think somebody already is in his ear right now, sitting there going, "You better go to this thing. You got to go to this thing. You can't not go to it because you'll never get this opportunity again."
It's like going to the Heisman. If
you can make a 30-minute speech if you want. They don't have a time limit on your speech. You can stand up there.
I think they do.
I've seen people go long with their speeches.
I remember Dan Deerdorf going, they got a little light under here or whatever, and they want you to stop, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's like, what are they going to do, kick him off the stage?
Sure, they can't do that.
So, I mean, he could sit up there and he could basically ramble on for an hour, and he could look at that light and sit there and go, you can blink that thing as much as me as you want. I'm going to keep going. This is, and Terrell Owens being the kind of person he seems to be, it's like, this is my day. I'm going to do this.
He might even throw some popcorn down.
But he'll be there. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee he'll be there. This is all right now for publicity, but I guarantee Terrell Owens will be there.
If you want to see a really cool Hall of Fame speech, Terry Bradshaw, it's got to be probably 87, 80, I don't know, 89, I don't know when he went in. Long time ago, but that was a cool Hall of Fame speech. So check it out.
Well, and I still remember when Elway went in. Remember when Elway went in? Well, not the greatest speech, but remember how full that crowd was? Because that was our first major Bronco to get in.
I think it was our only Bronco.
It might have been. Although Haynes, remember, Haynes was a Bronco for 3 years. Yeah, but he went in as a Raider,
that don't count.
Of course.
That don't count.
But yes, technically our first Bronco that ever went in was John Elway, and that place was packed with Bronco fans because we wanted You know, and now of course it's kind of cool. We've gotten Terrell Davis in, we've gotten Shannon Sharp in, Zimmer is, you know, he's in as a championship winning Bronco, even though he played most of his career.
Steve Atwater will be there.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I just don't know though, but I hope so.
I think Steve will get in. I think at the rate Vaughn's going, Vaughn will get in.
Vaughn should get in at the way he's playing. I mean, he's got a ring. He's been to a couple Super Bowls. He's still young, and now he's going to have another dynamic pass rusher on the other side of him.
We hope. Well, I don't have anything more on this subject.
Nope. Just like, do you think he'll be there though?
Yeah. Oh, I do. I actually do think he'll be there now that I've been yapping about it with you. I think he will.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
that
He's
my
gonna
boy?
be there. I guarantee it. He guarantees it. I'm gonna guarantee it for him. He guarantees it.
That's
Terrell
my
Owens.
jacket. That's my jacket. I want my jacket.
This is my jacket. I love my jacket.
You know what? You don't get the jacket if you don't.
It's like, I think he's gonna wear it as a cape. I really do. I think he's gonna wear it as a cape and fly around, or he's gonna have Chad Johnson present him with Chad Johnson's fake coat that he wore, and
I thought that was funny when he did that.
It's like, yeah, but it's still, Chad Johnson's not getting in the Hall of Fame. He's just not. I'm sorry. Chad Johnson was a good wide receiver, but he's not Hall of Fame.
He was a great wide receiver while he was doing it, until he went to the Patriots, where he decided not.
But he's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
No, I don't think.
But he's an all-star guy. But he's
But
good.
he got one of those gold jackets at a thrift store somewhere.
He did a good job and wrote Hall of Fame on the back of it and everything. He can always sit there, and I don't know how he's going to hang his hat on that, but you know, there you go. In your mind, Chad Johnson, you're a Hall of Famer. Good for you.
I'm out.
With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.